Through this, to guide us through these important topics, we are privileged to have three distinguished experts whose groundbreaking research and thought leadership have significantly shaped the conversation around sustainability and digital transformation in accounting. Allow me to introduce our esteemed speakers. The first one, Professor Cindy Yoshiko Shirata from Ibaraki University, Japan. She is an expert in corporate performance analysis and risk management, with a focus on sustainability and the impact of digital innovation on accounting practices. We also have our second speaker, Bu Elvia R. Sauki, PhD, MBA, CA Bachelor in Accounting from University of Indonesia. She is a senior lecturer and the head of ESG Intelligence Reporting Center at the university. With her deep expertise in sustainability reporting, social responsibility, and ESG, she will share valuable insight into how these aspects are being integrated into modern accounting practices, particularly in developing economics. And our last or the third speaker, Professor Dr. Erwin Saraswati, AK CPMA, CSRA, ASCA from Brawijaya University, Indonesia, specialist in corporate governance and sustainability, focusing on how accounting is evolving to meet the challenges and opportunity of the digital era. Each of our speakers will present their insight for 30 minutes, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. Followed 15 minutes by Q&A immediately after their presentations. During their presentation, please feel free to submit your questions in the chat box, and we will address them during the Q&A session once the presentation is concluded. At the end of each speaker session, we will have a certificate presentations and brief photo session to formally acknowledge their valuable contributions. Without further delay, let's begin our first speaker, Ibu Elvia R. Sauki, PhD, MBA, CA, Bachelor in Accounting. The virtual floor is yours, Ibu.
Just have to unmute myself. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Elvia Arsauki. I'm from the University of Indonesia. I just have to put my disclaimer. I got a heavy flu, so my voice is a bit sexy. So sorry about that. But I have to go and explain it to you. So, yeah. So I graduated from my University of Indonesia, and then I did my study in Belgium as my S2 degree, and that is MBA program in Catholic University of Leuven, Belgium. And then I continued my PhD in Melbourne in finance. And then at the moment, I'm a member of the Indonesian Sustainability Standard Board. So that is the Indonesian versions of ISSB. Okay, so that's just an introduction. I'm still an active lecturer at the University of Indonesia. Okay, so that is okay, so that is just an award that I got 2022, 2023, and 2024. I was just awarded as best lecturer. I just want to show you my slides, Mas. Is that okay if I share my slide?
Yes, Bu Elvia.
Yeah, because our time is not that much. 1 second. File is is that 1 second, okay? Yeah, this one. Okay, so I'm going to share the file, and allow me also to go to NVivo later on, because with NVivo, I can show you how the mix method can be built based on that software. So, and I have to also put my disclaimer that I'm not coming from NVivo company, so I'm not representing the company. So this is my slides, which I already asked the committee to provide it to you. So this is the title. It's going to be a mixed method. So that means mixed method is a mix between quant and qual, but also at the same time, you can mix the instrument. So not just the quant and qual, but also you can mix the instrument like interviews and FGD interviews and documentations, i.e. annual reports and things like that, okay? And this seminar is mainly dedicated to ESG related data because we are a member of the Indonesian Sustainability Standard Board. That's what we call it, Dewan Standar Keberlanjutan in ERE. So I can tell you a little bit more about the ESG data, okay? So I just want to refresh our mind and how and why the the mixed method becomes a very, very powerful method approach in analyzing your data. Okay, a lot of experiences that I gain from my students is that they have difficulties to quantify when they want to go for the regressions model. Yeah, when they want to go for regressions model, then they have a problem in quantifying the variables. And I said, why do you have to quantify it? Because, you know, I want to put it in regressions models, okay? One of the variables. I just want to, just sharing a little bit of my info. A student of mine from Brawijaya University informed me that the epsilon, the disturbance errors at the end of the regressions model is quite big, quite significant. And I said there must be a variable that was not captured in the model. And he talked about the transaction costs of the auctions market for tuna auctions market in 5 different markets in East Java. And then I said like this, did you analyze the role of the middleman, tengkulak? And he said, no. Okay, then we can quantify this of the role of the tengkulak, i.e. middleman, and build this into your model, okay? And that is an example how we move from qualitative data to be quantified, and it's going to be included in the model. Another example, my student from Universitas Negeri Polytechnic Padang, she brought the proposals and she was not successful in the proposal. I was not in the supervisions committee, and she has a problem in calculating or in proxying the green investments. She put green investments as R&D, okay? Jadi investasi hijau, it's calculated as R&D, and that is completely wrong because R&D is not always green. And so she was not successful for the research proposals, and I was invited to jump in as the other supervisor, talking about how to quantify the qualitative data embedded into the regressions model. Then I came to her and I talked with her, you know, you can always quantify the green investments, the greenwashing, the social washing, the corruptions washing, anything to do with the washing, you can quantify this and you can put this in your regressions model. And she asked me why and how. And I said, well, you want to include that green investment in your model. So her model is about carbon disclosure of 6 different countries in the world, dependent variable, and she talks about the green investment as a factor influencing the way they disclose the carbon, okay? But when she put the green investments, she put the R&D, and that is not right. Then I came to her, look at the disclosures, find out whether the term of greenwashing, the green investments or greenwashing, doesn't matter, found in their disclosures. But of course, it's not green investments that they put it there. Is they put it in different ways, but that similar to green investments. That is similar to greenwashing. Okay, so we have to look at the keywords, the similarity with the green investments, the similarity with the green strategy. So at the end of the slides, I put it there. Okay, so like this. When you go to the sustainability related disclosures of the company and also climate related disclosures of the company, okay, you can always go, this must be number 1, sorry about this, but this should be number 1. And this one goes to number 2, okay? So when you go to the disclosures of the company, and then you want to ask whether they talk a lot more about water, whether they talk more about corruptions, whether they talk more about how they treat the people, memanusiakan manusia, wong ke wong, kalau that's Japanese terms. And that's something that you can find it in your annual reports, in your sustainability report, using this method, using this strategy that I'm going to tell you in a minute. Okay, so this is the sources of informations that you can go and try to find out about the keywords that they said in the report, and then you can determine whether they are very sensitive to green investments, whether they are very sensitive with the risk, whether they are very controversial in terms of ESG. These are very trendy variables now that they can always put this in your variables. So anything to do with the left one, dependent variables, is influenced by what we call it the controversy. Carbon disclosures, human rights disclosures, the one I mentioned earlier, memanusiakan manusia, the greenwashing, climate target, climate strategy, and things like that. This is really, really easy for you to put it in as a variable, and you put it in your regressions analysis. Okay, so you can always do it this one as the qualitative, purely qualitative data, qualitative analysis. So you can do it, qualitative data becomes quantitative data because you quantify them using the NVivo. And then after that, okay, after that, you can always quantify this and put this in your regressions model, okay? So things like this is something that you can do it through the mixed method. Without mixed method, it's just a bit hard for you to analyze it, okay? So I go to the second slide now, come back again. Mixed method can generate a richer and important research questions. With quantitative method, the regressions model, you can always ask about what is it, what is the relationship or influence or affections, associations, just about what. But you can't ask about why, and you can't ask about how. And in order to ask how and why, you need to go to the mixed method. So generating rich and important research questions, there's no way that you can do it, solve yourself using the quantitative approach. So a mixed method is providing to you the superior research findings and outcomes. You know, there are three paradigms in research: quantitative, qualitative, and a mixed method. And the last one is the triangulations, for you to triangulate, to strengthen your data, strengthen your data collections, and strengthen your data analysis. And that's what I'm going to talk about, is the triangulations that we are going to talk about, okay? Because if you talk about quantitative data and not sufficient, the one example of the one my students from University of Polytechnic Padang and the other one from Brawijaya University, if there is an issue on quantifying certain variables, then comes with qualitative data, you measure it, and then you take it into quantitative model. You can leave it as your qualitative data. If the findings are so strong with qualitative, that's not a problem at all. So triangulations means strengthening, okay, enhancing the results of your quantitative data. So that's what we call it here, the triangulations between quantitative and qualitative data becomes quantitative analysis. So if they asked you what kind of method do you have, you mentioned that the method in terms of data collections is mixed method, but in terms of data analysis, it becomes the quantitative data, because at the end of the day, you only have the regressions model. So it allows you to be more confident, like of Mbak Zalida, the one of my students in Polytechnic Negeri Padang. She's very confident because now she measure the green investments using all of the keywords that the company puts, okay? And then she quantify the terms of green investments in the annual reports becomes a variable influencing carbon disclosures. More confident, creative way of collecting data, thicker and richer integrations of theories. You can put a lot of theories. So the mixed method can also be a mixed in terms of the theoretical background and also uncover contradictions, because now you can solve all these nagging and outstanding questions that you can solve through the mixed method. The reasons for you to conduct the mixed method, you can do it at the research design, and you can do it at the data collections, and you can do it in the data analysis. So mix can be done. Normally, when you do it in the research designs, you also do it in the data collections. During the data collections, when you combine data collections of qualitative and quantitative data, that is mixed method in terms of data collections. And then when you analyzed it, mixed method, and the dominance is on the quantitative, that's the analysis will be quantitative. But if the dominance are the two of them, that means quant and qual sit together nicely and equally, and that's what we call it equal status. This is the summary of what I'm saying just now. You can see it here, the paradigm of quant and qual. This is taken from the book, Johnson and Onwubuzi. Here, where we have qual and quant, it has similar status, similar positions. Qual is so much important as well as the quant. That's the reasons why you have capital letters, all of them. That means in data analysis, not just the data collections, in data analysis, you analyze the qualitative data, all the text-based data, as your findings, as one of your research questions. And the quant-wal is also another research questions. Maybe you have 4 or 5 research questions and the qual 2 or 3 research questions, something like that. But this has to be formalized in the research questions. So you can do it like qual first and quant, or quant and then qual, doesn't matter which one is earlier for you. There's no rules. That really depends on the research questions. The dominant status is when the qual was just the qual, the analysis, but supplied with quant informations. Quant is a small letter, okay? So that small letter doesn't mean that this one has a role the same as qual. And this one too. So for instance, you conduct the survey using open-ended and closed-ended questionnaire, okay? And then you use like a scale 1 to 5. That is quant, okay? That is quant, okay? And then there are some open-ended questions that you need to quantify that. For instance, you ask the students how do they perceive, or what are their opinions regarding online teaching, okay? Then you can collect this just to strengthen. This is the triangulations on this one. So this is not important, the small letter, as the big letter. You can do it combinations like this for the mixed method, okay? So you can also do it. So with a mixed method, you can do with the variety of data, primary or secondary data. That's the beauty of mixed method, because you don't have to use numbers. You can use words, text space, and then you quantify them, or you leave it as it is as a qualitative data analysis. You can use interviews, FGD, observations, naturally occurring conversations, that is when it happens automatically, naturally. That can be also a secondary data. The powerful of this method, of mixed method, is to use the social media as your data, okay? So official publications like annual reports, sustainability reports, policies, employment contracts, emails, and things like that can be also the documentations. Media, news, ads, TV, radio, print, in terms of HTML, that's something that you can also quantify them or leave it as it is in the qualitative method. And then the question is this also qual and qual a mixed method? The answer is yes, because I mentioned earlier, mixed method means quant and qual, or instruments and another instruments, whether they are qualitative, both of them, but when you combine the two instruments together or more, it's also called as the mixed method. For your information, just to let you know that the research in accounting using mixed method is very rare. What does it mean? That means you still have a high chance to be accepted in the journal, because the chances to be accepted is very, very high, because the percentage of research in accounting and finance is still low under mixed method, okay? Then when you analyze it, you can analyze the data using content, thematic, and constant comparative, okay? This is just an explanation on how we analyze content. Content is about the isi of your data, of your documentations. For instance, sustainability report of PRI, BCA, and things like that, Mandiri, and then you look at the content. What do they say? Okay. And then what are their major concerns? That's something that you can ask. And who said so? Okay. So it's the anything to do with the content that is what is defined as the content analysis. You can look at the documentations, you can look at the open-ended survey and things like that. Once you move to the next level of analysis, it's called as the thematic analysis, is to understand the range of responses, okay? And that is
Dia pun masak itu tuh masak apa dia? Saya nggak masak, bukan dia.
fighting. And that is to understand about the theme, the thematic of the what they said. So for instance, they talk a lot more about corruptions, anti-corruptions. They talk a lot more about modern slavery. Okay, what kind of topics or themes that they talk about modern slavery? It's the role of the government. It's the role of the women itself. Okay, that they need to protect themselves. So the next one goes to the thematic analysis. And then these are the things that you need to do for thematic analysis. But the next one is talk about the constant comparative analysis when you compare the data two together. I now have to move it to my NV4 to show you how I can analyze this in terms of software, okay? Okay, so where's my NV4? This one, okay. Okay, see my NV4. Can you see my NV4 there, Mas Aloysius?
Yes, Bu Alfia.
So this is my NV4. This is my latest one. If you have the data, because I'm not coming from NV4, I'm not promoting NV4, okay? So just not to give you impressions that I'm selling my product or anything. But NV4 is a very powerful one for you to conduct the mixed method. If you have already the data in qualitative and you want to embed this into your quantitative regressions model, then you can download this for free for 2 weeks, okay? Then after 2 weeks, I hope that you finish with your data analysis, okay? You can always download it in another computer, but with the same computer, it is impossible for you to download it. They will recognize you from emails and also from the IP address. So, but don't buy the fake one, okay? That's against the law. And number 2 is that your data will be stolen. And it's so dangerous to go online with a fake product. It can damage also your computer. Go with the real one, but go with the 14 days if it is too much for you. The price it's about $1,019. That's the lifetime NV4 software. So class, you can see it here. I'm doing the auto coding. Okay, so how do I do it? So I just want to finish this one first. And I was just doing it before, analyzing the sustainability report of two different banks, reputable banks. Okay, and then I do this. Okay, so what I did when you have the NV4 class, okay, when you have the NV4, what you need to do is you just operate based on the two different functions. Number one is on the explore, and the other one is on the explore is to analyze, like the one in SPSS or eViews, analyze, and that is explore in here, and the other one is on import. Okay, import. So this is what you need to do. Sorry, this is saving the results. On the left side, you can see it, all of the data and the results. Import is where you import your data. You can see it there, files, and also organized. That means when you analyze it, you get the data in your analysis. I think I need to subscribe first so that to get the results faster, okay? When it is online, it takes long time. So I just want to say to you that NV4 will help you to quantify all of the text-based data into a quantitative number. Yeah, quantitative number, and then you can embed this in your regressions model. And then you may ask me, "Bu, can I do it manually?" Well, of course, yes, you can do it manually. But for doing manually, you can only use it like maybe just small data. You can't do it with big data. The beauty of this NV4 is that you used the NV4 for big data. So 10 gigabyte is the maximum capacity of one file. That means you can analyze it like thousands of annual reports at once, okay? At once, that is possible, like the one that Ibu Zalida from Polytechnic Negeri Padang analyzed it using like thousands of the annual reports, and we analyze it like just in a single second, and we got the results and beauty results like that. So one file consists of 10 gigabytes. That is a very big data. If you want to do it manually, you can do it manually. The thing is that when you do it manually, you might be inconsistent. Okay, for instance, you want to talk about green investments, and then you know there are about 116 keywords similar to the green investments. Similar to green investments. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, just want to share you the files. This one. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, can you see it, Mas Aloysius, the file?
Yes, yes, Bu.
So yes, this is an example. To indicate that there are some terms that you may use for green investments. And this is taken from different journals like this. So this journal say that green investments has to be this. And then you combine with the other journal, and then you get all of the keywords. And then try to find out whether this wording, whether these keywords are found in the annual reports. The higher that you can find it, in their annual reports, the higher will be on green investments of the company. Do you understand the way I'm explaining it to you? Okay, so then you need to define all these terms. If you want to talk about the ESG controversy, if you want to talk about greenwashing, there are some key words, key terms that indicates about the activity of greenwashing or green investments, green strategy, talking about the climate risk, for instance. There are some keywords. Then you try to find out. And this is the problem with when you do it like manually. Okay, when you do it manually, what happened is that when you do it manually, you are tired and you're not consistent looking at the words by words. You might make mistake. With NVivo, again, I'm not selling NVivo, it will be consistently, continuously searching for the similarity of the green investments as you have indicated in your analysis before. That is going to be found in the annual report. The higher, that means a high indications on greenwashing, on green investments, green strategy, and things like that. Okay, I hope it is clear. And I'm going to see my NVivo. Yeah, 98%. Just 1 second. Then I can share it to you in a minute. Another 2%. Because this is online, then takes time for me to save the files. Okay, I should not save the file before. I'm just like looking at the relationship between the risks that they're facing of the banks and to the financial performance, okay? And that's what I did before. And then looking at the risks, types of risks that they have and the financial performance. Okay, go back to my NVivo class. Okay, 1 second. Where's my NVivo? Okay, this one here. No, it's too much file to be opened. This one. So this is my NVivo, okay? First, what you need to do is looking at the import. That's the first one that you need to do, okay? Forget about these figures, just close, so that you're not going to be affected by this one, okay? Import. And then you can always import in HTML, yeah, HTML. That is for WhatsApp and then Instagram, YouTube, and everything that comes from the HTML. Okay, use this one. And then also you can import the Facebook, all the timelines in Facebook, LinkedIn, and things like that. This is HTML. This one is files, and you can see it. You can always import documents, text files, PDF, and also audio, video, and gambar images. You can also do the survey, Excel, and also you can also do it from SurveyMonkey as well as from the Qualtrics, not Google Forms. Google Forms, you have to download it, okay? Once you like this, okay, and then it goes to the wherever they direct me. Then I can put this and then this open, and then it comes to this file, okay? That is importing. So the file is already there. Two different sustainability report of the of BRI, and just I want to make a comparisons between BRI and KBFG, just a matter of me curiosity in terms of risk. Sorry, this one. Okay, once it is already there, then I need to analyze it. Remember, I use content, thematic, and constant comparative. And I want to quantify the disclosures to be embedded in your regressions model, okay? To be embedded in your regressions model. Takes a long time because it's an online. Normally it's very, very quick. Just have to stop sharing. That is a main problem if I do it through Zoom online. It goes very, very slow. I don't know what happens. So doesn't matter. I'm going to show it again. So with NVivo class, okay, what you need to do is, if you want to analyze it, okay, if you want to analyze it, of this one and this one, which talk a lot more about risk or anything like that, you can always like put all of them and then do the auto coding. Remember, this is a very heavy and very thick of the reports. So you can do this as the whole chunk of report, or just look at the carbon disclosures on its own, or talk about the certain part, something like climate related disclosures, be very specific. This one is the whole lot of the sustainability report, and that consists of about 300 pages. It will be very heavy for you to analyze it. Explore is how you, I think I got stuck with my NV4. I got hang with my NV4. That's all right. Just go outside my NV4. Okay. Hang. I just go with my new NV4. I open my new NV4. 1 second. I don't want to open that one. NV4. 15. Okay. Forget about that one. Okay. Yeah. Just 1 second. So this is when you start downloading from the free trials. For instance, mine is not free trials. I bought the software, but this is how it looks like when you open the files like this. And then when you want to analyze it, you go with the explore. My project is already there. Okay, so my project is already there. So mixed method is not there. It's okay. I just try to explain it to you how to open another project to know what happens. Not responding. So maybe I just tell you how to do it. Okay. You do the explore from here. Not sure what happens. You go with the NV4 here. Just want to come back again to this one. Okay, this is so powerful. So you go for this one. You go to explore. Okay, you go to explore, and it will tell you what to do with the explore. You can do it with the word frequency. What are their major concerns? BRI and KBFG or Mandiri or BNI, what are their major concerns in the sustainability report, stated in the sustainability report? If they said a lot more about corruptions, that means their major concerns are on corruptions. If they say a lot more about the climate change, that's the major concerns is about climate change and its emissions reductions. Okay, so you can talk about this, how they behave. One company to another company, looking at the word frequency. I'm going to repeat, looking at the word frequency. Click this, explore, and then you go to the word frequency, and you can find it, like you can instruct to look at the most 50 words said by the companies. Yang paling sering muncul, okay? 50 words said by the company. And then you compare it between BRI, Mandiri, and also BNI, for instance, okay? And other for instance, other private banks or foreign banks. Then you compare it. That's the 50 words that said most frequently. That's the major concerns of the banks related to the topics. Okay, if you look at the wordings, the keywords, you can always click that keyword. Say when they talk about corruptions or modern slavery, you can always click, double click, and then you get all the explanations about what it is about. And that's when we talk about thematic analysis. I'm going to repeat, okay? Word frequency is when you look at the most said words, okay? Most said words, major concerns. But with thematic, when you click on that set words, the keywords, then it has the themes that were brought for that topic. Corruption. Oh, corruptions, because it happens. This is according to one statement that you find. Corruption is because the leaders do not give a good example, for instance. Okay, then the one underneath follow the leaders. So the theme is the leaders. The other one is the role of government in combating corruptions is not strong enough, for instance. Okay, and things like that. That's what we call it the themes. Just click on that keywords, 50 set words or 100 set words, and then you can have all of the explanations about the themes, the thematic analysis. You can always compare it of one company to another company in terms of the disclosures, and that's when you compare it one to another in terms of content and thematic analysis. That's what we call it as the constant comparative analysis. Okay, Mas Aloysius, if my time is up, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, Bu Elvia, we have another 3 minutes left, Bu Elvia.
3 minutes, yes. I'm about to finish as well. Now, if you want to quantify the one that I mentioned earlier about bringing this data into your regressions model, you do explore, okay? You click explore. At the moment it's hang, I can't do it. And you go to the, what we call it, the text search. Copy and paste the themes that I mentioned earlier, regardless whether it is about greenwashing, modern slavery, all the themes that you define, that you classify on your own, copy and try to find out whether those keywords are found in the annual report. The higher, that means the higher will be on the exposure of particular search that you do. And then you can have the percentage. That percentage is going to be brought into your regressions models. Ya, jadi kalau green investments tadi ada banyak gitu, well, we got about 116 terms of green investments. Then we got it, and then we tried to search it in our NVivo, and then we got it, and then we measure it, and then we got the numbers, and that numbers is brought into our regressions model. It's way better rather than you try to justify the numbers, quantitative methods using your own one. So I know my time is very, very short, and with NVivo, you need to study, like really, because of the problem with online, it slows down. So it will be better if we see offline, and also you practice using your own laptop, your own data, and then we analyze it together. And it's not just like 40 minutes, definitely not. I'm a train for trainers for NVivo in Australia as well. So if I take the class for the NVivo in Australia, when I did my first training, it takes about 3 days. So 2 days will be enough for us with including the practice. So that's what I suggest you to do if you really want to master your NVivo. Okay, so that's it from me. Hope it's going to be beneficial for you to analyze the mixed method data. And there are so many software. And another one is Leximancer and Dictions. Okay, this is one of the examples. So bye for now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bu Elvia, for this insightful presentations. Please stay with us for a while, Bu Elvia, because there will be a Q&A sessions, photo sessions, and then certificate appreciations. But before we jump into the Q&A, from the presentation, there are several important highlights from Bu Elvia presentations. For the first one, the mixed method research paradigm offer an important approach for generating research and important research questions and providing warranted answers. The importance of triangulations will get more confident of their results, creative way of collecting data, and it can also lead of the thicker and richer data. And NVivo also, Bu Elvi also emphasized that NVivo are powerful tools for qualitative data analysis. We will help you to quantify all the text data. Bu Elvi also put emphasis on be careful to do content analysis manually There will lead us to probability of mistakes and inconsistency. So we have NV4 to help us with tons of gigabyte of data. WLV also share with us the ESG related data or keyword such as sustainability, climate, risk and opportunity, ESG performance, ESG risk, ESG controversy, green investment, and others related to the keyword of ESG related data. Well, Via, we have one questions from Risa Undip. Thank you, Mrs. Buelvia. I am Risa from Undip. Your presentation on mixed meta research was truly outstanding, showcasing a deep understanding and integration of qualitative and quantitative approaches. The clarity of your methodology and its application to ESG-related data was particularly impressive. My questions are, first, considering the challenges of assessing high-quality ESG data, how would you address potential discrepancy in data quality between different reporting entities in future research? That will be the first questions, Belvia. And then the second one, considering the evolving regulatory landscape for ESG disclosure, how do you anticipate future regulatory changes might impact the collection and reliability of ESG data for mixed method analysis? That will be the second question, Bu Elvia.
Right. Thanks. That is really a good question. It's from Mbak Risa, is it? Risa, yeah, okay, from
Yes.
Mbak Risa, thank you so much. Okay. So in the absence of regulations, mandatory regulations, it's hard to be apple to apple, okay? Because everything do what they want to do, okay? A lot to do with the greenwashing, the one I mentioned earlier. So, and that's the reasons why we need to be very, very careful regarding the consistency of the data. You have to compare it apple to apple. In order to compare it apple to apple, the same quality, you have to look at the framework. What kind of frameworks do they report? If they report based on TCFD framework, the Task Force for Climate-Related Disclosures, then you can compare it. But you can't compare it apple with Blimbing, right? And because then it doesn't make sense. And that's the reasons why reliability will depend on the framework that they use. If they use local framework, i.e. POJK 51 2017, and with GRI, of course, it's two different things because GRI, it's completely different in terms of, well, of course, there are some similarity in certain aspect, but they're just different. And then now with IFRS S1 and S2. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to compare it with the apple to apple. But it's not that you can't do it. You just have to tell it in the limitations of your study that we compare the sustainability report of the Indonesian companies and however they apply different frameworks. So then people are aware on the fact that there might be some discrepancies, okay? Because the framework that they use might be different to another one. With the future one, because we are going to apply one mandatory regulations around the world, that is for comparability purposes, so that we can compare it, the one in Indonesia and the one in Thailand and the one in Mauritius. And that's the reasons why we need to comply with IFRS S1 and S2. In the whole world, it started with 1st of January 2024, and for the report ends on 31st of December. Indonesia will come soon, so the draft is going to be announced or disseminated soon, and then we will start to have also the mandatory in the coming years, not too far from now, and that's when we can compare it apple to apple, Indonesia with another country. But at the moment, you just have to state this in your limitations. Hope I can answer your questions, Mbak Risa. If not, then you can just put your thumb up saying that you understand of this one, okay? Just put your thumb up, Mbak Risa, so that I know that you have agreed.
Bu Risa is already answered. Bu Elvia, thank you very much for the clear and insightful explanation.
Okay. Yeah, okay, very good. Thank you. All the best with your research, Mbak Risa. And I got another one from Ibu Mega. On measuring sustainability disclosure using GRI index, what do you think is a clear line between expressing it as quantitative descriptive, content analysis, as expressed in that analysis qualitative? Well, that really depends on the research questions, Mbak Mega, okay? GRI index is an index, it's just a number, okay? Then I don't want to argue with the index, but index is so subjective, okay? There are some benefits, there are some also disadvantages, okay? Drawbacks on using the index. But I'm not teaching in the index. I'm using all the text-based data, and then you interpreted it text-based data, okay? So with the mixed method, you can enrich your index with the keywords that they put, the story behind the index. Did you get it, Mbak Mega? So the index is one thing, and then the story behind the index is another thing. Okay, Mbak Mega? So you have the story
Okay.
behind,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So are you Mbak Mega from,
Mula Warman.
is it Mega?
University of Mula Warman, Bu Elvia.
Oh, Mula Warman. Okay. I thought Mbak Mega from Atmajaya. That's okay. So what you need to do is to look at tadi ya, GRI index is another thing. So then the story behind the index, you can put the questions like this. Apakah the higher the index represent the nice telling story, a good telling story behind the index? Ada konsistensi nggak? Okay, so things like that, you can explore the themes and the constant comparative on behind the scene of the index. Yeah. I once collected sustainability disclosure based on GRI standards, and this took quite a long time and human resources, but there is an implicit revelations. We have to read 1, 2, 3 paragraph first. Yeah, of course, not just 1, 2, 3 paragraph. Oh my God. And people can work with 10 gigabytes, thousands of paragraph at once. So if I don't do it online, it goes to very, very quick, but because it's online, it's slowed down. I don't know what happens, but it's always the case that NVFO cannot do it very quick like that, okay? But Mega, yes, Mega
Yeah.
from Universitas.
How about the implicit disclosure is note I look for the keywords and I can't
What do you mean by implicit disclosure?
find the same implicit
What do you mean?
talk about the labor but maybe in the same meaning but the different keyword.
Oh, that's
The
when
different name.
yeah, of course. But of course you can't analyze what is in their mind of the manager ya. Itu nggak bisa diapa-apain
Yeah.
ya. Kalau dia punya implicit, we
Yeah.
can't analyze it. We have to analyze it based on what their statements are, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, terus, you
Okay.
know, you can analyze it with that statements, and then you analyze it on the themes that they have, okay? So the sensitivity of the keywords, you can lower it down, like if, for instance, develop. Develop can go developing, development, and then you can also develop means also enhance, establish, and things like that. So that's when you can find it, the sensitivity. So labor can be also defined as a lot of different terms that are similar, and that's our capacity cannot do it. And that's the reasons why manually it's hard to do it, because kita capek dan mungkin salah, right? So we might make mistake. But with the NVivo, we leave the sensitivity going down so that it can generate, like poverty, kemiskinan. Kemiskinan is not always about not having money, but kemiskinan also relates to hunger, no education, buruknya MCK, and things like that. That's going to go going down, and can cover a lot of other things. That's the sensitivity of NVivo data when you lower it down on the similarity of the wordings. Okay, but Mega. Yeah, Pak Lucius.
Once again, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How about if we have a different standard? Okay, what I once researched about the standard sustainability reporting in Malaysia between in Indonesia and especially for the food and beverages. Yeah. Okay, absolutely about the triple bottom line. But for the disclosure, it's sometimes different. it will solved by the NPVO,
Well,
Dr.
I mentioned
Sauki?
earlier, if they don't have the
Mhm.
similarity in terms of framework, it's not easy to compare it because you compare apple and blimbing, right? But if they follow one standards, that's easy. Okay, consistency are not there. So you have to put this in your limitations that we analyzed it this based on these conditions. Okay, but if we have one rules that is easy to compare, but not at the moment. But doesn't mean that you can't do it. You just have to put this in your limitations. Put this in your limitations that you are analyzing based on voluntarily disclosures. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bu Elvia,
Thank
for
you.
this. I hope that Bu Mega from Universitas of Mula Warman and then Bu Risa from University of Diponegoro um, go along with the research. And thank you again, Bu Elvia, PhD, for this insightful presentation. Please stay a while here, Bu Elvia, for the certificate appreciations. Please, Ibu Siti from committee to prepare the certificate, or the other committee to prepare the certificate symbolic.
Is it here?
Okay. Can operator put it, Bu Elvia, next to the certificate? Or is just only certificate shown?
Yeah.
Okay, it seems
Terima
possible.
kasih.
Yeah. Bu Elvia, thank you once again on behalf of ICMA, Ikatan Cendekiawan Muda Akuntansi, for sharing with us your insightful, your knowledge with us. I hope we can see again in the next event, Bu Elvia. Salam hormat, Ibu.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And regards to Cindy. Okay. If Cindy is here, I know Cindy very well. Salam buat Cindy. Okay. Bye bye.
Cindy, yeah. There's a photo session, Bu Elvia, for a while. Okay. Bapak Ibu, we are jumped into the second presentations. Second presentations will be from Professor Dr. Erwin Saraswati, AKCA, CPMA, CSRA, ASCA from Brawijaya University. Professor Dr. Erwin, are you already with us here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Professor Dr. Erwin, we have 30 minutes for the presentations.
Yes.
The virtual floor is yours, Professor.
Yeah, sorry, your voice is hello?
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof.
Yeah. Yeah, your voice is not clear.
Okay, sorry, Prof.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have,
it's okay.
yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah.
we have 30 minutes, Prof, for
Yeah.
your presentations, and then 15 minutes for Q&A sessions.
Yeah. So I will share to my presentation. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Is it clear, my voice?
Yes,
Hello?
it's clear, Prof.
Yes, clear.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I hope you, all of you is good. Yeah. Today I will discussion about sustainability, especially how research and empirics or quantitative research. Yeah. Yeah. The first one, you know that sustainability is trending topic now because due to increasing risk of climate change. Yeah, in research in field of sustainability also become trending topic too. Why climate change? Because climate change is and business are related. The negative effect of climate change, you know, are virtually everyone. So every one in the world, I think that is have negative impact from carbon emission. Yeah. When notion and whole industry sustainability is not astonishing that many industry, market and companies are affected by climate change-induced problem of water scarcity, soil erosion, large fire, decreasing fish population, and flood. Yeah. Policymakers have been unable to develop and adapt effective measures to counteract climate change. So the role of individual and companies has become a real. How about the strategic sustainability management? Before I talk about the research, I would like to talk about how is strategic sustainability management. The first thing that is sustainability principle, that is principle of the sustainability, how to make to sustainability strategy and how to make to sustainability policy. From sustainability, sorry, from sustainability policy, we can down to environment, social, and governance. And then, and then from sustainability practice and sustainability policy, economic, environment, social, and governance, we use sustainability reporting. Yeah, that is one of research with the secondary data, especially sustainability reporting and disclosure. Yeah, the field of sustainability research, I would talk about 4 points. One is sustainability reporting or disclosure, both quality and quantity disclosure. And then the second, CO2 emission. This is I want to talk about carbon emission disclosure and performance. And the third is about social performance. One of social performance, the thing is social return on investment. And the last ESG, I think that ESG now is trending topic, yeah. Environmental, social, and governance. Actually, ESG that is part of sustainability reporting. Yeah. The first one, sustainability reporting and disclosure. Yeah, sure. That is one of the report about activity of CSR, and then activity of related with sustainability. Yeah. When sustainability reporting or disclosure research can be seen from activity and reporting. Yeah. So, and sustainability, they have activity, how to make sustainable company and or sustainable organization, and then make reporting. But not all company make this reporting. Yeah. So when research based on activity, we can use primary data, and then while reporting, sustainability reporting can use secondary data. However, quantitative or empirical research can use both primary or secondary data. Yeah. The problem is measurement of sustainability reporting or sustainability disclosure. In empirical research, variable measurement become a separate problem because sustainability reporting often measure with dummy 1 and 0, but this is not appropriate in relation to the materiality factor. When the company report about sustainability reporting, they have disclose about only materiality. Nah, in the sense, the topic reported as SR based on materiality will differ from one company to another. Yeah. Measurement alternative or sustainability report or sustainability reporting disclosure. I choose two, yeah, maybe another maybe with the another method, yeah. But I usually using two, one of them. The first one is RAR 2002, measurement in RAR, including quantity and quality disclosure. And the second one, I use Measuron et al., the 2014. I think that is Michelon, measure with three things, namely measure quantity, density of CSR information, and the third, accuracy of information. I think that Michelon et al. Have the measurement is unique and complex. Yeah, yeah. In this slide, I choose from RAR 2002. I choose table 4 about how is about disclosure, measure, quality and quantity disclosure definition. RAR that have quantity of disclosure about CSR is how much, yeah, how much, yeah, give the score 1 until 5. 1 is sentences, second is paragraph, third is half E4 page, and 4 1 E4 page, and 5 and more 1 E4 page. Yeah. But in quality disclosure is how measure. One is monetary when the company disclose in monetary term. Yeah. And then second, non-monetary, quantified in numeric term of weight, volume, size, but not financial or currency. Yeah. Quantitative and monetary, descriptive prose and currency, and 5, qualitative and non-monetary, descriptive prose and numeric term, and 6, monetary and non-monetary, a combination of currency and numeric, and the last, qualitative, monetary and non-monetary, descriptive, financial, and numeric terms. So you will using content analysis and sustainability reporting. You must read this sustainability report carefully, and then you give score 1 until 7 like this. Yeah. That is from RAR 2002. RAR is measure about quantity and quality of sustainability reporting. So not just quantity, but how is quality of, of sustainability report. Yeah. And I took from Misalon 2014, sorry. Disclosure variable have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variable. The first one is relative quantity. The equation is like this, yeah, where RQT is the relative quantity index for company in company I in the year T, and disclosure IT is the observed level of disclosure for company I in the year T, and disclosure it's the estimate disclosure level of company I in a year T. That is 1, relative quantity. And then the density, the equation is like this, where density is density index for company I in the year T. Yeah, key is number of will be 0 otherwise. Yeah, that is about density. And third, accuracy. Accuracy where actually accurate in variable have economic dimension, growth factor, and then economic dimension 2, operation factor, and economic dimension research factor. And then summary economic, that is they have average. And then environment dimension have number environmental strength minus number of environmental concern. I think that is from Refinitiv. Social dimension of sustainability performance, number of social strength minus number of social concern. Governance is number of governance strength minus number of governance concern. Summary ESG dimension, number strength minus numbers concern and KLD database. So not all Anthony et al. We can get itself, but maybe from another lembaga yang lain ya, bisa di lembaga yang ketiga. In the sustainability report, usually research method we get empirical with primary or secondary data, and then collecting data from content analysis. Maybe in the last, you can use a sustainability report using meta-analysis. I think meta-analysis that is from unit analysis from article, yeah, that related with your topic. Another topic, research in sustainability, that is the first one is greenwashing. Maybe you can relate with SDGs, yeah, and then creating share value or CSV, and then risk management. I think that is three topic. It's very trending topic now, but the problem is how you can get the data. Maybe you must searching about the article relate with three topic. Yeah, I think that is enough. Pak Alusius, Pak
Yes.
Moderator. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof, for these insightful presentations, and then share
Yes.
with us the knowledge. Please stay with us for a while, Prof,
Yeah.
because there will be a
Okay.
Q&A sessions. There will be also certificate handover and also photo sessions. But before we jump into the Q&A, there will be conclusion for the presentation, or might be the importance highlight. So the first one from the presentation from Prof, 4 point of the field sustainability research, there will be sustainability reporting and disclosure. And then the second one is CO2 emissions.
Okay,
The third one, social performance. And then the fourth is ESG,
share
or
screen.
environmental, social, and governance. Prof also share with us the quantity of disclosure is how much. So it could be in sentence, the measure will be in sentence, paragraph, half page, or whole page. There, if you want to measure how much. But if you want to measure how measurement, there will be a 7 indicators. Prof also share with us the several proxy for CO2 emission from several journals, such as Choi et al. 2013. And also, Prof share with us the social performance, or Prof call it SROI, social return on investment, one aspect of social performance. Also, Prof share with us the source from for the research in ESG, such as IDX Carbon, Refinitiv, Bloomberg, and Sustainalytics, and also support by another University of Indonesia for the raw data, and another university. Prof also share with us another topic research in sustainability, such as greenwashing and SDGs, create share value, and then risk management. But these three topics, according to the Prof, need supporting research article or research journal to support this another topic research. So, Prof, we have one question from Burisa.
Yes.
Burisa, if I didn't understand, from Undip. Thank you, Prof. Erwin. I am Risa from Undip. Your presentation on quantitative research in sustainability was exceptionally well prepared and insightful. It clearly demonstrated your deep understanding of complex topics such as carbon emission disclosure and social performance measurement, and effectively conveyed the importance of empirical method in sustainability research. My questions, Prof, how can digital technologies such as blockchain how can digital technologies such as blockchain help mitigate ESG risk? related to the supply chains and ensure greater transparency in corporate sustainability management. So actually, Bu Risa emphasized, Prof, on the role of blockchain
Digital.
and digital technology. Thank you, Prof.
Ya, saya jelaskan dalam bahasa Indonesia ya,
Yes,
karena
Prof.
kan saya pernah melakukan tentang teknologi digital, memang ada kaitannya dengan sustainability report. But in digital technology, maybe saya hanya melihat dari perbankan yang lengkap ya untuk digital teknologi ini. Jadi I think that is will be developed about system on management sustainability. Jadi sekarang lagi dikembangkan oleh lembaga, kalau nggak salah dari EY ya, itu mengembangkan tentang sistem berbasis digital tentang sustainability. But I don't know kembangannya seperti apa, itu yang saya belum tahu persis. I think that is sustainability management can be transparent with digital technology. That is maybe Risa. Thank you, Risa.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So
Yeah.
actually, the technology will have more transparency in.
Yeah, I think that is will be help.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prof, for the answers, and then I hope Bu Risa also could be satisfied with the answers. Prof, we are moving into please committee prepare for the certificate appreciation to Prof. Erwin.
Okay. Yeah.
Please stay with us for a while, Prof.
Yeah.
Committee now preparing the certificate.
Wait ya.
Yes.
Please wait.
Yes. Okay, highly applause to the Prof. Erwin. Thank you for sharing with us on behalf of ICMA, Ikatan Cendekiawan Muda Akuntansi Indonesia. Thank you, Prof. Erwin, once again.
Yeah,
I hope that
thank
we can
you.
see in the next event. Thank you,
You're
Prof.
welcome. Yeah, thank you for your opportunity. Yeah, mohon
Okay.
maaf. Yeah, I leave.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Dear all participants, we are moving forward to the third presenters. The third presenter will be Professor Cindy Yoshiko Shirata. Prof. Cindy, Cindy with us, okay? Good morning from Indonesia, Prof.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, Prof, before the presentation, please allow me to read your summary of curriculum vitae, Prof.
Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Okay, Prof. This is our third speaker, Prof. Cindy Yoshiko Shirata, BA, MBA, PhD, 26 years of teaching experience in undergraduate course, master course, and PhD course, including 16 years teaching in English for foreign students in master and PhD classes. Prof. Cindy also working for the company, including PricewaterhouseCoopers for 20 years. Researching Japan's economic condition from a corporate bankruptcy point of view and received some award from research papers. The original bankruptcy prediction model is well known not only in Japan but worldwide and used in economic society as the rating model. The main research method is analyzing corporate financial data by AI machine learning and analyzing narrative corporate reports, especially environmental reports, by natural language processing with AI technology. Doing also as the chairperson of the Management Research Group of the Science Council of Japan, also the Secretary General of Science Council of Asia, representing all scientific council of 20 Asian countries. Served also as a member of Government Council for a long time, including the Legislative Council of the Ministry of Justice for 10 years and Council Chairman of the Road Tax Rating Council of Tokyo Regional Taxation for 8 years. Prof. Cindy Yoshiko, pursuing MBA from University of Tsukaba, Japan, and then for PhD, Business Administration for University of Tsukaba, Japan. Prof. Cindy, we have 30 minutes for 30 to 35 minutes for presentations, and then after the presentation, we move to the Q&A sessions, Prof. So virtual floor is yours, Prof.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for introducing me. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. I hope that you can share my
Yes,
screen,
we can.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for inviting me that this conference. Saya tidak tahu bahasa Indonesia, so saya bicara bahasa English.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Prof.
Today, the topic is the new transformation in accounting-based technology, because that the two presenters provided before I'm talking, they are discussing about the analyzing ESG or environment report, how we can read from this report. But basically, my research is treating accounting number. So I always compare with, or I always analyze that kind of report, analytical report. I always thinking about the most important point of the financial position of this company. So, okay, let's start my contents. So I'm talking about that current Japan economic condition. So my example is analyze the Japanese company's report. So I'm not sure how to think about Japanese companies or Japanese environment treatment or something, but this is example, okay? Then how we can evaluate a business from different point of view. Different means that different from two speakers before, and transformation of accounting-based technology means that not only report, okay, report means a narrative report. Financial number is very important. I would like to mention about it. Then, thank you so much introduce me. So if the people are interested in about me, you can find in Wikipedia. That's it. So if some of them are interested in, you can read my background and at the Wikipedia, and also that my academic background. Okay, that the already explained. So I quickly skip about this one. But if the audience are interested in my research, then you can download my paper from the ResearchGate. Most of them directly download that original paper. If you cannot download the paper, please send me the message from that site. Then I can send you that original paper. Some of them are published in American Accounting Journal, so it's not free of charge. So I'm not allowed to give the free of charge, but if you're interested in some of them, I can give you. So please check about these papers. Most of them are, you can download it from there. So many people are referred my paper around the world, because basic my research is not narrative or environment evaluation, but what is the sustainability of the company? So most important key point is the sustainability of the company. Then this is an additional information to you. Two pictures at the top part is that the Science Council of Asia conference held in Indonesia, Bogor. So I'm not sure you can find that person you know, but anyway, I'm doing that Secretary General Science Council of Asia, and I visited so many countries discussing about environmental issues, everything. Especially Bhutan has so many deep thinking about environment. They don't have an electric signal, nothing, but they have a very strong power to get, how can I say that, income from other country. They are selling the electric power, but their electric power source is water. Everything water from the Himalaya mountains. So everything very environment good treatment. So I also would like to talk about that kind of backgrounds also. So I want you to know that current economic condition in Japan, you have so many impression about Japan. So how about Japan is under the COVID-19 spread? Japanese economic condition is better or worse? How about in your country under spread the COVID-19? Not thinking about the environment issues, but economic conditions getting worse or better? So that's the point. So Japan is leading country regarding AI or digitalization. That's also that another point, okay? So a little bit look about the background right now. So GDP ranking in 2020, that's 5 years ago. So the recent data is 2023 one, but 2023 to 2020, Japan was the third biggest GDP ranking around the world. But as you know that, this year, the government reported that GDP in Japan is declining. Then German become more than us. So Japan become number 4 around the world. So that kind of things I want you know that is misleading the information users. So that's very important point. So this one is a dollar base, right? So, okay, compare with the yen base. How is the GDP in Japan in yen base? Oh, under the COVID-19 spread, but in Japan GDP has grown so much. Okay, that kind of data can easy to mislead information users. So you've analyzed that company, society, everything. You have to focus on that kind of not wrong information, correct information, but sometimes easy to mislead that kind of number. So this is just an example. So let's develop that company sustainability evaluation. So AI machine learning, why use AI machine learning? And sustainability equal keeping their business eternally, right? So my original research is predict bankruptcy, predict bankrupt trend. Predict means that if we found that bad future, then we protect or we stop that future happen in advance. So not waiting for the bankruptcy. We have to take care of something in advance, not to go into bankrupt. So sustainability means keep going the business. So sustainability means that not going to bankrupt, right? So analyze the difference between the bankrupt companies and the sustainable companies. That's the most important point for us. That is not only financial number, but environment report point of view is also important. I will talk to you later. So how to evaluate the business? Most important matter is not develop the model, just making a model, very well-known models around the world, but find out the most powerful accounting variables. What is the power to evaluate the companies? So maybe most of you are learning accounting in the school. Then you learn that this variable have the power to predict that the better performance, worse performance. But most important point is analyze the real company's data. For instance, the ratio of long-term asset to the owner's equity, very well-known, okay, ratio. Everybody knows. Then the smaller one, shorter ratio is better performance. Maybe you learn in the school, okay? But look at this one. This one is compared with that huge number of the bankrupt companies. B part is a bankrupt company. N part is going concern companies, going concern sustainable companies. Okay, let's compare with two groups. Not so much different, right? So this is just one of the financial ratio, but you are monitoring financial ratio and calculate this number. Oh, higher is better or lower is better. Not make decision, just that kind of result. This is just example. So financial numbers sometimes easy to mislead. This one is just one example. But not only one example, I can show you. There's so many financial numbers. We analyze that. 1,000 companies. That's Japanese cases. So I'm not sure that the difference between Indonesian companies and Japanese companies. Okay, but Japanese companies case. Analyze so many companies data 1 year who are going to bankrupt 1 year before or sustainable. These two groups compare with many different type of the financial ratio. Most of them are almost the same median. So same average. Also, this one is so many, but next portion also. Another financial ratios. They look so similar, same. So we cannot make a decision that just pick up few financial ratios. This one is higher. This company is better performance. No. We cannot make decision like this. I prove this type of things. But important thing is I mean, not believe financial ratio, financial number. No. You can believe that financial number. But there's so many backgrounds. So I try to analyze financial number using AI technology, not a statistical method, to predict what is the most different financial ratios between companies sustainable, non-sustainable. Okay, non-sustainable means that going to bankrupt. So this one is total more than 5,000, almost 5,000 companies data, but more than 1,436 bankrupt companies 1 day before, and going concern companies over more than 3,000. So this is a variable of AI picked up, the sustainability, non-sustainability. So picked up 4 variables. That kind of model was developed long years in New York, in the United States. Very well-known model is Altman, Olson, something. But compare with their data, Altman's model, very well-known. But he compared with only 30 and 30 companies. Okay, then Olson's so many number, 100 and 2,000. Mine is bankrupt cases is more than 1,000. So collecting huge data is more important to accurate result. Okay, so then this is rating using that kind of bankrupt model. That is not to predict the bankruptcy. As I says that this model can evaluate their position. So better performance, worse performance. So can use that this kind of rate. So for instance, rating company is very well known. Like, sorry, the title is in Japanese, but okay. This one is Standard & Poor's rating compared with my model. Almost correlated. So can analyze that the financial position or rating of the company, analyzing my model, okay? That is important point. Then, okay, try to research about the sustainability. So analyzing the relationship between that financial data, so financial position, and qualitative data. So the important point is compare with the financial position and environmental report. Not only analyze that financial environmental report. There's so many researches had been done. But the important point is try to compare with them. I'm not sure that how many knows about Japanese difficulty facing environment issues. So Japan, many people lost their life by pollution diseases. That history is very long history in Japan. Now environment issues, environment treatment is quite popular. But before that, so this one is a book published in Japan, but this hand is that influenced by the pollution diseases. So many people lost their life, okay? So we have that kind of experiences. So previous literatures, of course, using that, the analytical report or conditional probability method to analyze the bankrupt non-bankrupt groups. Okay, this one is that we analyze that narrative report, corporate disclose information, analyze that the conditional probability method, that's the text mining. But about that natural language processing previous literatures, there's so many. Okay, so around about so many papers are published using that natural language processing. It has more than 20 years history, so not so new. Then, as I mentioned that, Japan has a huge difficulties before. Look at the year, that is 1960, 1953, many years ago. We have that kind of diseases problem, and that caused that lawsuit, of course. So many companies had to pay that compensation right now. That is more than 70, 80 years history. So I don't know that right now in Asian countries, in the next 50 years, 60 years, what happened? We don't know that, but that is our real experiences. Now, that is not the past story. Still, that kind of compensation lawsuit is running still. Not all are concluded. Okay, that's a big important point. So, corporate ESG environment report divided by financial rating model. That's a point. Not only analyze that report, but split out that group, better performance group, better financial position group, worse financial position group. That's a key point. So the important point is not whether disclose environment disclosure information, but anyway, that kind of disclosure is for all stakeholders, Accounting number is all stakeholders can get this information, but cannot compare with that financial position and environmental report. You can get that environmental report, just read, okay? So important point is that trend of that environment treatment compare with that financial position, okay? This one is, if some of you like a Japanese tea ceremony, this one is so-called the jasen. This tool is that KH Coda, this one KH Coda, so that HK Coda. No, I made a mistake, KH Coda. KH Coda is very popular right now. Maybe you can download from the website. So this can analyze that corporate position by visually. So, assumption. Well, corporate financial position company, okay, that has a more control system to governance, right? So if that some of them do not have any rights to select their business partners or manage environment around their houses, they cannot do, if they have enough money, they can do that. So important point is financial position and against environment treatment. So this one is just part of the result. Top A, BB, or B, that is a rating of the financial position. Okay. So A group, the usage of the word in A group, BB group, B group. BB is almost the middle of the financial position. B is a very worse financial position group. So the top ranking, very frequent to use that word, BB and B group is not so much different. They use that environment. Of course, that's environment report. So they use that environment. Okay. But A group, of course, they use that environment, but not so many frequent to use environment. They use that taku, support, or outcome, really different from another group, right? So another point of view, okay, we can check out. High-rated firms, okay, some word are used very much frequently in a report. So longer sentences report, is it good compared with the longer sentence report, short report? No. Some companies using the same word many times, environment. So sentence become longer, right? So this one is that the high-rated firms of high-rated correlated rating with the financial position. So AA or A group is using a trade, explain, or report. These words used very frequently. Understanding. Also that priority improvement. But B or BB group, trend is really different from. So BB and B group, reduction, confirm, aim for, they are going to. They use these words so much. So the difference between that, not sentences, how long they are writing the report, not like that. But words they use in the report is important. That is different from the financial position. Why? That's the point. Why? So this one is the final result of this research using the AI. That's a text mining using, but pick up that co-occurrence. Co-occurrence network analysis by financial rating. So B, right-hand side B is a worse financial group. A is a better financial report group. I mean that these companies are Japanese public companies. They are joining Ministry of Environment pilot program in Japan. Then I discriminating these groups, better performance group, worse performance group by rating. Then I pick up not middle part, but worse group and a better group. So that is really interesting. Worst financial group, B rating group says, explain, middle part is that both of them use frequently these words. Year, environment, protection, green or something. But with what word they are using? Co-occur, what word in the sentence. So B rating group says that explain or try, aim for. So their position is plan, do. They are going to do. But A performance group, they say that guideline, policy, standard, explain, or they can report, use report. So their position is do, check, phase. So difference between the two groups, if you were analyzing that the company is a worse performance company, they are talking very nice sentences and we are doing something is very good and something. But if they don't have enough money to take care of that, they cannot do anymore. The company has enough, not only cash, but enough room to spend money for that kind of environment issues. They can do that. So compare with the financial position is very important. This one is one of the very good Japanese companies. This company is not so well known around the world, but it is says Rengo. Rengo is the carbon recycling company in Japan. As you know that now the home delivery is quite popular, like Amazon or something. So cardboard is very popular and their consumption including so much. But important point is not including the consumption, but they are always thinking about that. They reduce the cardboard or treatment. That kind of things is very important. They are thinking about that kind of environment issues when we analyze that text mining. But as I said, that important point is not only analyze that report by text mining, compare with financial position. Then we found the financial position controlled companies, okay, ESG related activities. But analyzing accounting numbers, we have a big issue. So this one is a second topic I would like to, or I want you to know. If you analyze that the company, that's okay. Financial report, you can analyze that number. Number is the number. So number is not so difficult to compare with 1 and 1. Oh, that's a number. But most difficulty point, especially not only in Japan, but in Indonesia or current Asian countries, they are developing so much. So the accounting rule followed by historical cost, as you know that, right? So the gap between that historical cost means that the number in a financial statement and current value is so huge, right? So this is just an example of the Japanese company's data. The top line is that the size of the capital. So depending on the lower to the bigger companies. Then in Japan, real property ratio to total assets, so lands and fixed assets. So especially that lands of the company's financial statement to the total number. Bottom one, the total number is almost more than 40%. Okay, bigger company more than 60%. Okay, and land to the fixed asset, about 15 smaller companies also that more than 50%. But this number based on historical cost. So Japanese old companies, Japanese company has a more than 100 histories company. We have so many. So their asset, if you check about balance sheet and you check about their how much land they have, oh, they purchased that property more than 100 years ago. So purchase 5 yen in Ginza, Shibuya property. Can you believe these numbers? That's so much difficulties. How about the Indonesian companies? Now Indonesia is grown up so much. You can get that financial report of these companies. Can you analyze that the real financial position of these companies? This one is the correlated land price and bankrupt ratio. So the 0 is the left-hand side increasing the peak. That is the going bankrupt. So correlated of the land price and bankruptcy. Okay. So what is this? Oh, Jakarta developed so much. Huge big tower. Maybe some of you knows very well, but last time I've been to the Jakarta is more than 5-6 years ago, so I could not check about that area. But most of them developed so much. The companies build this kind of building. How's their land price when they purchased it? That is not current value, right? That is historical cost. Also, do you know that the train changing their name? I forgot the former name. Okay, I had been supporting that development project, but so many huge town are developing right now in Indonesia. Not Jakarta. That is a part of Jakarta really far. Oh, Jabodetabek line. So Jabodetabek line changing their name, KAR. Oh, developed so much. How is the landowner of there? Then also, what is this? Oh, that's huge shopping mall. I'd like to visit there. So huge. Can you imagine that historical cost of that land there? Oh, I don't know. So of course that these companies thinking about environment issues, so put that green area, and that's really important. But the important point is they're keeping that kind of environment treatment eternally. That means, of course, they're expecting getting big income from the shopping mall. But important point is their current, right now, their financial position. So in case of Japan, Ministry of Land, left-hand side, sorry that's in Japanese, but Ministry of Land and Infrastructure, Transport, that can provide that the tax agencies land price data every year. That publicly open that. So what does it mean? Information users can compare with their financial data number, financial analysis, financial balance sheet data, and current value. Can find that gap between that the corporate current value and historical value on the financial statement, disclosed financial statement. So in Japan, Ministry of Land Transportation analyzed or disclosed so many information every year. Everybody downloaded these data so that the information users can compare with that, the balance between that financial number they disclosed on the stock exchange and real their value. So important point is that kind of thing. Sorry, that's in Japanese, but Japanese ministry is disclose this kind of data. This one is showing that so many numbers you can find in a map. That is that actual trading amount in this area, purchase or sell or something. Then this kind of chart mentioned that. This kind of map, also tax agencies map. This one also disclosed every year. Everybody can download it. I'm not sure that you cannot understand where it is. Not only foreigners, but Japanese people, really difficult to see or watch. What is this? Where it is? This one is. Do you know Hachi statue? Hachi in the Shibuya. Okay, Hachi. So in front of Hachi, there's a big building. This one. Can you imagine that this current value is that $216,000 per square, per square. So everybody can check about the current value of the land anywhere around the world, from Hokkaido to Kyushu, everywhere. You can check about the difference between that disclosed financial statement, real number. You can check about that. So important thing is that original update source, corporate disclosure. So Japanese companies, not only companies, government disclose that kind of updated information. So for instance, Japan Exchange Group updated stock price every day. Ministry of Finance provided comprehensive static data. Is that EDINET, very well-known corporate disclosure information, something like Edgar. But EDINET data is the historical cost accounting treatment. They followed by accounting standard. So the asset they purchase in a different year, then each price is different, but current value is different. So very difficult to read that real financial position. So this one is XBRL story. So Indonesian Stock Exchange introduced the XBRL 2014. So XBRL is easy to introduce and analyze the data, right? Okay. Then I show you that the my talking picture at the ADB. At that time, IDX person are one of the audience at that time. We are discussing about the XBRL introducing into Indonesian stock market. So the purpose of introducing XBRL is more easier to convert financial data to analyze. Okay, that is different between that current value and book value, but easy to introduce these data to analyze that corporate position. So IDX is quite aggressive to introduce the XBRL, but I'm a little bit worried about This one is this year, May 5th. So the tax reporting related announcement of the Indonesian government. So they mentioned that tax reporting using XBRL, Japan is more than 20, 30 years. All tax report means all Japanese companies financial report submitted by XBRL. So in the Indonesian tax agency says that they are involved expanding initial 37 taxpayers would like to try out to more than 70. Only 70. Oh my goodness. So this kind of information can get easily, not only big company, but small company. Easy to analyze these companies' data and fixed asset data compare with current value. So as I said, yeah. So the most important thing is that Edinet Japan, these data are disclosed by XBRL language. So it's easy to pick it up. But I told you that environment issues, environment report, financial report, that is not correlated. But important point is that information users analyze that company's financial position by disclosed information and compare with their disclosed environment report. That is important point. So this one, just example, most of you knows very well about the XBRL. So this is Japanese one, but XBRL is not so difficult to include or introduce Excel. So quite easy to analyze. And the most interesting thing is that their column is not showing that number, that's showing that taxonomy. So if this one is a liquidity ratio, not showing the number, but showing the current asset divided current liability of this year, something like that. So they don't need any other information, numbers. So using the XBRL, you can calculate it directly of these numbers. So anyway, before thinking about the new technology, analyze text data, that kind of technology is improving, developing so much. Okay, so you can analyze so many disclosed narrative information. But you have to focus on the gap between that real value of that company means accounting number. Especially Indonesia is higher development era right now, growing more and more. So the gap between that disclosed financial number and current value is so much different. Also that the disclosed that the narrative report, something like an environmental report, that's quite easy. They can write that report, right? Just writing sentences. But you have to check about their real financial position. So if you analyze the corporate report, you have to compare with the financial position of that company. Okay, that's very important point. If the company has enough money, they can do that kind of environment. They can treat that kind of environment issues. But if they don't have enough money, if they talk that we are going to do like this, they cannot do that. Okay. So looking forward to the improvement of the XBRL is easy to compare of these data. Also, not only financial data, as you know that I analyzed that the report, narrative report. Most of the Japanese companies disclosed information, not only number, but narrative portion of the report. That is also disclosed by XBRL. So you can download this data by text mining or something quite easy. Okay. So introducing XBRL is quite easy to analyze that narrative, non-narrative data. Okay. So thank you so much. And my time is almost 15. Okay. Is it okay? So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Cindy. Please stay with us for a while because we have still more Q&A session, certificate appreciation, and then photo session. But
you.
please, before we jump into the Q&A, there will be several conclusions. The first thing from Prof. Cindy, please be careful because many financial ratios do not have power to analyze the corporate financial positions. They look so similar before, during, or after crisis. Analyze
Yes.
corporate ESG environment reported divided by the financial rating model. Actually, Prof. Cindy giving us a different perspective from two previous speakers. Actually, Prof. Cindy, because now Prof. Cindy is bringing us to the financial ratio importance, the balance between narrative report and then also emphasize on the power of financial ratio to support the narrative report. Prof. Cindy really
Yes.
shared with us the methodology using financial number approach regarding environment issue in Japan context. So it will make complete not only narrative report but also compared with the financial report. Prof. Cindy also shared with us the importance of property value related to the environmental issue. Prof. Cindy also shared with us several sources like Japan Exchange, GPX websites, Ministry of Finance statistical data, eStat or Japanese government statistical portal, and also EDINET, electronic disclosure for investor networking. This is several of Japan government disclose for statistical data on the website.
Yeah.
So, Prof. Cindy, we have one questions or two questions. First from the committee, actually from the committee of conference on the chat box. How does the applications of, this is from Bu Mega, from Miss Mega, how does the application of historical cost in valuing real property, particularly land, become an obstacle in enhancing ESG disclosure? And how can digital technology help overcome these difficulties within the context of modern accounting transformations? That will be the first questions, Prof. Cindy. And then the second question from Bu Mega. In the text analysis using AI as presented for companies with different financial rating, how can digital capability assist accountant not only in understanding the plan do or do check phases, but also in the influencing in the implementation of corporate sustainability? There will be two questions from Bu Mega, Prof. Cindy.
Okay. Now, first things that, for instance, the government provided so many data in the land price, okay? But I don't know that situation in Indonesia. So maybe that depending on the country, that situation are really different. So in case of Japan government send the professional evaluator to each places every year. Then one point, so more than 2 persons evaluate that kind of the land value. They have so many, they collect huge data. But anyway, that every year that each point, 2 persons evaluate the value of that land. The purpose, that land means that basically tax agency's data is source of the real property tax. So they, each position are the devaluated every year and disclose it. So the government spends so much money, but maybe that around the world, Japan is the only one country to reevaluate that kind of land price every year. So anyway, that the professional person reevaluating that land price every year. Is it okay for the first question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Then second question around that about the AI. Would you please tell me that question again?
The questions, Prof?
Yeah.
In the text analysis.
Second one again. Yeah, because AI related and yeah.
In the text analysis using AI as presented for companies with different financial rating, how can digital capability assist accountants? Not only in understanding the plan do or do check, but also in influencing the implementation of corporate sustainability. So actually the role of AI actually, Prof.
What is I cannot
The
hear
role of
you.
AI in the implementation of corporate sustainability.
Because that this analysis is only that the count the word frequencies by the natural language processing. Okay, so just
NPL.
count the there's so many methods that not only that count the number, but the total word number, the frequency number divided total word number, because that longer sentences companies put that use that same numbers many times. So there's several ways to count, not only that count the number, but the ratio or something. But basically the technology, this technology is natural language processing. Then important thing is that this one is only that word frequencies, pick up the word frequencies. But we had been doing that analysis using that AI, but the word frequency is only that how many words they are using this word something in this document. So not only that word frequencies, but what word is co-occurrence, that is important. What word and what word is co-occur in the same sentence. So not the many words, but they are very frequently to use that environment and aim to or environment try, that group, or another group is environment explain, environment report. So that kind of co-occurrence, another natural language processing, but pick up that co-occurrence group divided by their financial position. So natural language processing is not only that count that frequencies, but that kind of characteristic that is showing, because that usage of the word is really different of that better performance group, worse performance group. But not only that frequencies, but find co-occur this word and this word in the same sentence, that kind of trend to analyze. Then we can find that real difference between that their performance to the environment in the worse performance group, better financial performance group. Is it okay? My answer is
Yes, Prof. Cindy, it will answer the questions. And then, Prof. Cindy, we are moving forward to the second participants.
Yeah.
This is quite economic macro. I am Elvan. I would like to ask you, given that the Japanese yen experiencing a decline, 0.68% falling to Japanese yen per USD. So actually, it is the lowest level in 34 years against US dollars. Japanese yen against US dollars.
Yeah.
As reported by CNBC in April, how can digital capability in accounting assist company in Japan in effectively managing exchange rate risk? Prof.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
This is regarding the
okay.
declining of Japanese yen against US dollar.
Okay, that's very important point. For instance, now the Japanese yen become at the 156 or something, right? But one point. I can show you this sheet. Can you see that this one? No, not yet.
Yes,
okay,
GDP statistic record.
Okay, I can share it again. Okay, the important thing is that domestic environment and international environment is not so the same, right? Okay, then can you see this one? Can you share this sheet?
GDP statistic.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I don't know that what is your experiences or audience experiences. When I started to work, for the first time I visited Jakarta was more than 50 years ago. At that time, do you know how much the Japanese yen to dollar? More than 300 yen. So, of course, that compared with recent 5 years, 6 years, Japanese yen is now that decreasing. But just 150 in our impression. And important point is domestic GDP, domestic economy. Look at this one. Domestic economy is increasing so much. Another point, I don't bring that sheet, but for instance, that corporate tax payment amount in the last year, that was the biggest ever. So that means including SMEs, Japanese companies, including SMEs, their net profit amount was the biggest ever. So that is environment to spread the COVID-19, but Japanese economy is really good. But the reason why that interest rate is decreasing, the currency rate is increasing, decreasing, that is influenced by the interest rate. Interest rate is controlled by the Bank of Japan.
Okay.
So that is a kind of their strategy. So keeping low interest rate, stock prices increasing because that most of the investors of Japanese stock are foreign investors, not Japanese. Japanese people are don't care about Japanese stock market. So the government would like to invite that foreign investors more, then they keep that lower interest rate. So currency exchange rate is also that at the background that is related to the interest rate in Japan. So in Japan, interest rate is so low, means if you borrow the house in Japan, if you rent money from the bank, interest rate is 1%, 2%, so low. So Japanese internally, people does not care about the interest rate and exchange rate, stock price. So domestic economic conditions so good right now. Yeah, so that is little bit easy to mislead that outside people.
Okay. So actually, Prof. Cindy, the domestic economic growth is in the good condition actually, Prof.
Very good.
Okay.
After the World War II, last year was the best. So
Okay.
nice. I don't know why.
Prof.
Please
Cindy,
come to
one more.
Japan.
Okay, yes. Prof. Cindy, one more question. Prof. Cindy
Yeah.
from Bunitri. Prof. Cindy, please tell us how to relate the tax report and XBRL using Indonesian with the sustainability reporting of Indonesia. So
Oh,
how
that's
to relate?
that is difficult question because in Japan, introduced the XBRL is not to the financial reporting, but tax agencies was the first.
Oh,
So mandate not only public, because disclosure information is only for that public companies, only 3,000, 4,000. But tax agencies means that all submitters number is all companies, not only companies, but individual person also. So individual person submit that tax filing on the website. Now the submitters don't care about XBRL. That's automatically converted to the XBRL. But tax agencies has all data by XBRL now. So they can analyze this data quite easy. Then, as I mentioned that in Japan, introducing XBRL in Japan was tax agencies was the first. Then after that, stock exchange market was introduced. So my question is, why that Indonesia tax agency is not so much positive to introduce that, introducing that XBRL? Because all taxpayers, not only companies, but individual persons data, tax agencies can get and analyze and combat it quite easily. Is it okay to the questions? Answer to the questions?
yes. Yes, it answered the question. Thank you, Prof. Cindy, for the answer to the questions. Now we are moving to the certificate symbolic. I will the committee or I will share the appreciations, Prof. Thank you once again on behalf of ICMA in Ikatan Cendekiawan Muda Akuntan Indonesia, can Komite pinpoint the screen to the Prof. Cindy and then the
Okay.
certificate? Right. Okay. So
Bagus.
on behalf of ICMA, Prof. Cindy, thank you again from sharing the knowledge and also the insightful presentation for Indonesian participants here. And then I hope that we can see again in the next event, Prof. Cindy. And then highly appreciated and highly applause for Prof. Cindy. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so
Cindy.
much. And terima kasih. Jumpa lagi.
Salam.
Hati-hati.
Thank you, Prof. And
Thank you.
then there's a photo session for 2 minutes. Okay. 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 So thank you, Prof, once again. And then I hope that we can see in the next event. Thank you. Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Best
Ya,
regards.
makasih ya. Terima
Okay.
kasih.
You're welcome, Prof. Cindy. Okay, dear participants of this webinar, thank you for being us for our. We have 3 speakers, and then we are sharing a lot of different perspectives regarding sustainability and then environmental issue. Our first 2 speakers, they are speaking about the qualitative or narrative report from annual report, and then we have a different perspective from Prof. Cindy that share with us with the importance of the financial report to balance our research result. So on behalf of ICMA, will be the end of our session. Will be the end of our webinar. And then I hope that we are seeing again in the next event with ICMA for sure. Thank you and then good morning. I'm asking permission to leave.